Justin Baldoni might be best known for his role in Jane the Virgin or his recent legal clash with Blake Lively. But there's far more to his story than what meets the eye. Beneath the spotlight lies a tale of resilience, trauma, and reinvention that even his biggest fans may not know. From a promising sports career cut short by devastating injuries to deeply personal battles that shaped his life, Justin's journey has been anything but ordinary. And just when you think you've heard it all, the next chapter will leave you speechless. But let's rewind for a second, because before the controversies and Hollywood fame, Justin's life was all about sports. As a standout athlete, he earned a full scholarship to California State University for track and soccer. He seemed destined for athletic stardom, with dreams of making it big in sports. But fate had other plans. A series of severe injuries forced Justin to quit sports altogether. His competitive drive, patience, and discipline, traits he honed through years of training, didn't go to waste, though. Instead, they laid the foundation for his next chapter, acting. Transitioning from sports to Hollywood might seem like a huge leap, but for Justin, it was just another arena to conquer. The mental toughness he developed as an athlete became his greatest asset in showbiz. Yet, those old injuries never truly went away. What many fans don't know is that Justin still battles chronic pain from his sports days. He suffers from a herniated disc, arthritis in his shoulder, and multiple knee injuries that have haunted him for years. These injuries nearly derailed his acting career before it even began, and they've led to some serious challenges on set. Challenges that sparked headlines in 2023 during the filming of It Ends With Us. One incident in particular became the talk of Hollywood. Justin, trying to avoid worsening his injuries, asked Blake Lively's trainer for her weight before a lifting scene. His intention was purely precautionary, to protect himself from further back problems while lifting her during filming. But it didn't go over well. Blake reportedly felt body-shamed, and things escalated quickly. What most people don't realize is that Justin was in the middle of ongoing treatment for his back at the time. He had been undergoing cutting-edge stem cell and peptide therapy to manage the excruciating pain caused by his old injuries.
And he asked how much Blake weighs. And that it was like, how dare he, right? How dare? Turns out Justin Baldoni, this has been documented, has serious disc issues and was actually in the hospital for like 2 months after this film wrapped because of his disc issues and was worried because he had to pick her up in a scene.
Even the doctor treating him later explained how intense Justin's condition was. Chronic pain had plagued him for years, making something as simple as sitting on his heels impossible. Given these circumstances, it's clear his request was more about self-preservation than anything else. But, as with many things in Hollywood, it was widely misunderstood. The controversy with Blake Lively wasn't the only time Justin found himself misunderstood. His personal life has been just as complicated and, at times, even more painful. Take his early relationship with his now wife, Emily Foxler. Their love story might sound like a fairy tale, but in reality, it was anything but easy. Justin's love language was all about grand gestures, over-the-top public displays of affection, handwritten poems, and surprise gifts. For him, it was a way to express his love. But for Emily, it was overwhelming. She once admitted that his constant love bombing made her feel uncomfortable.
I was also not easy. I was giving him a lot of attitude. A lot of things that I did wasn't fair.
Little notes left on her car, stuffed animals, and public performances of spoken word, poetry. All too much for someone who preferred smaller, more subtle expressions of love.
Because I could tell that in his big gestures, showing me how much he loved me, loves me, that's okay. There's also beauty in him expressing love in his way. Could have been really cute. Nothing wrong with what you did. But we were on 2 different pages when we were dating. So I was over here, he was over here. I needed something over here, he needed a different thing.
Despite the tension, Justin refused to give up. His persistence eventually won her over, and their relationship became stronger for it.
But he was also big on love in general. Like, he wanted to be close. He wanted to show people that we were at parties together, and he wanted to show the world how much he loved me, and he wanted to show me how much he loved me.
But Justin's struggles went far deeper than relationship hurdles. His time in college was marked by a toxic and emotionally abusive relationship that left scars he carried for years. What made it worse was society's refusal to acknowledge that men can be victims too. Justin once opened up about this dark chapter in his life, explaining how he completely lost his sense of self in that relationship. What started as emotional manipulation soon spiraled into something far worse, an experience he would later recognize as sexual trauma. For years, Justin couldn't even admit what had happened. His turning point came during a therapy session when his therapist asked him a simple question. If a woman told you this story, what would you call it? That was the moment everything clicked. Justin broke down, finally accepting that he had been a victim of something society rarely talks about. The trauma didn't stop there. From a young age, Justin struggled with addiction to explicit content, a coping mechanism he turned to whenever life felt overwhelming. He later admitted that it gave him a temporary rush of dopamine, but left him feeling worse in the long run. The road to recovery was long, but it was a necessary step in reclaiming his life. Despite all these challenges, Justin never stopped trying to grow and help others. One of his most heartfelt acts of kindness came in 2023 when he cut off his iconic man bun, a hairstyle he had grown for 4 years, just to donate the hair to a charity called Locks of Love. This organization creates wigs for children suffering from hair loss due to cancer and other medical conditions. It was an emotional moment for Justin, who documented the process on Instagram and explained it to his kids. His reason was simple: to teach them the value of giving back. But not everyone saw it that way. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively made fun of his man bun in Deadpool, completely missing the emotional story behind it. For Justin, the joke wasn't just a jab at his style, it was a reminder of how easily people misjudge others without knowing the full story. Despite the ups and downs, Justin found his voice as a storyteller, not just on screen, but also through writing. His first book, Man Enough: Undefining My Masculinity, became a New York Times bestseller. In it, Justin opens up about vulnerability, body image, and relationships, challenging outdated ideas of what it means to be a man. The book struck a chord with readers, offering a refreshing and honest take on masculinity in today's world. A year later, Justin followed it up with Boys Will Be Human, a guide for young boys navigating self-esteem, communication, and life's challenges. He didn't just write for the sake of writing, he wrote to create a safe space for boys to feel seen and heard. The book became a lifeline for many, cementing Justin's place not only as an actor, but also as an advocate for positive change. But Justin's passion for storytelling goes beyond books. His critically acclaimed documentary My Last Days tells the stories of real people living with terminal illnesses. Instead of focusing on sadness or tragedy, Justin shifted the narrative to one of resilience, celebrating the human spirit. The documentary inspired countless viewers to embrace life fully, showing that even in the face of mortality, there's beauty to be found. Then there's his podcast, Man Enough, where Justin tackles tough conversations most men avoid. From redefining masculinity to dealing with mental health, he opens the floor for honest and sometimes uncomfortable discussions. The podcast has earned him praise for challenging toxic norms and encouraging men to embrace vulnerability, a far cry from the typical Hollywood image. What's perhaps even more surprising is how Justin's faith has shaped his journey. Raised in the Baha'i faith, Justin grew up with values centered on love, service, and equality. His father was Irish Catholic, and his mother was Ashkenazi Jewish, but both converted to the Baha'i faith, raising Justin with its teachings. One quote from the Baha'i leader Abdul Baha left such an impact on him that he tattooed it on his arm. Where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, and there is always time. It serves as a constant reminder of what truly matters. But as inspiring as his journey is, it hasn't been without its recent challenges. His ongoing legal battle with Blake Lively has taken a toll, not just financially, but emotionally. While Justin has remained calm and measured in his responses, he's admitted that the controversy has caused him immense stress and anxiety.
This morning, I sent a text message to my best friend Jamie and the president of my company, Tara, and I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal. I had an intense year, a lot of material success, and a lot of emotional stress. It was very hard on me and my family.
Yet, through it all, he continues to focus on his family, his faith, and his mission to make the world a little kinder and more compassionate. Justin Baldoni's story is far from your typical Hollywood tale. He's a man who turned pain into purpose, transforming his struggles into a platform for healing and growth. From his sports career to acting, from personal trauma to advocacy, Justin's journey is a testament to resilience and reinvention. And if there's one thing his life has taught us, it's that there's always time to grow, love, and start again.